dehumanizing? Is tech polluting? Is tech isolating? Is tech spying? Tech is not the issue. Tech is just a tool, an incredible and brilliant tool. It's up to each of us to decide how we use it. At Devoteam, our belief is that putting people at the heart of technology is the way to unlock the future. We believe that the power of imagination helps everyone realize the true potential of change. Better change in the way we do things, with a creative mindset and agility. Better change for our customers, with high-performance products, operation excellence, and remarkable experiences. Better change for talent, with wider and exciting career opportunities. And better change for the world, with innovation and sustainability. Devoteam, creative tech for better change.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the unveiling of Devoteam's very first TechRadar. Today we'll be sharing with you some of the sneak information of the content that you will find in the publication. I'm Karen Offray, Head of Strategic Marketing for Devoteam's Group, and I'll be your host for the next hour. Before getting started, I'd like to say a big thank you to all the Devoteam experts who put together the intelligence and experience into that guide. We know that sometimes tech can be confusing, can be overwhelming. So we hope that we will reduce just a little bit the complexity for you so you can make the right choices for your business. I'd like to remind you that this event is happening live. So if you do have any question, just drop them in the comment section. We'll make sure to address them afterward. And on my hand, I'll also take a few questions at the end of the session. You will also be able to get your digital copy of the TechRadar. I have mine. You will see appearing in between each section a QR code. So scan it. What's on the agenda today? We will start with an introduction word from one of our co-CEO and co-founder, Godfrey Bensman. He will then be joined by Philippe Bournenesque, our CTO, who will share with you the methodology we used to build out this tool, as well as the key learnings from this radar. You will then hear from our experts that will talk about the different sections that we had in the TechRadar, meaning 6 sections. I'd like to thank you all for being with us today. And I suggest that we just get started. Hello, Godfrey.
Hello, Karen.
How are you today?
Well, very fine. I'm so proud.
You can be. I am as well. I'm very happy to have you with us today. Godfrey.
It's a good pleasure. Great pleasure, yeah.
Godfrey, together with your brother, you are the co-CEO and co-founder of Devoteam. Can you share with the audience how tech is evolving in 2022?
Well, as we know, tech is developing faster and faster, and the number of new technology, as you just said, is overwhelming us. And so far, what do we do? By what do we begin? Then it can be hard to navigate to the tech landscape, and for this reason, we've worked hard on narrowing down the field by letting our experts select, curate, handpick a number of 134 this time, a number of technology, and the most relevant, the most interesting for us, the most promising in each of the 6 domains which we've chosen. This way we hope to reduce the complexity just a little bit for you and make it a little bit easier to navigate, and at the very least inspire you to explore further. It now takes only 2 years for a technology to be mature, 5 to become a standard, and less than 10 to be outdated. Thousands of new technologies appear every year, and we have startups becoming unicorns, new players entering the game every minute. It's a big mess.
And that being said, can you tell us how companies can survive in the face of competition?
Well, to face competition, whether you are a traditional organization, an existing organization, and a newcomer, you must behave as a tech company. You need to invent new usage. You need to invent new ways of thinking and implementing technology. This will be the only way to your sustainable success. And evolving in a changing environment is not easy. And finding your way in the technological jungle is exciting for sure, but it's sometimes confusing.
You said it, it's a tech jungle. So how can companies make sure that they make the right choices to achieve a rapid and also a full transformation? How can actually the TechRadar help them?
Well, the purpose is, I would say it's a modest attempt, but it's with strong beliefs. And it's a guide to help you in this plethora of technology so you can make the right choices for your business. And then the questions for us were, what are these new technologies, the most interesting for us regarding our experience? How do we analyze them? How mature are they? How complementary are they? How sustainable are they? And our tech experts all over the group of Devoteam, Europe, Middle East, have worked hard on all these issues. And Philippe, our CTO, Philippe Bournenesque, will explain the way, the method we use to define this, or to characterize these 134 technologies. How did we choose them?
Thank you, Godefroy. You are also the co-president of Numeum, the leading professional union for digital companies in France. And a subject that is close to your heart is the struggle for talents. Will simply choosing the right technology be enough?
Well, the right technology, first of all, you need to choose them, but then you have the question of the talents, the skills, the ability to implement, to aggregate, to create a real architecture. And then the subject is really the right people. How could we recruit them? How could we train them? It's a critical issue for all our companies. And to have the competence, this competence, millions of people are going to be trained and retrained. Not only young people coming from universities. The good news is that tech will create millions of jobs all over the world, and the challenge for us, the challenge we are facing is really to train them in time, in our time.
And for all the talents that are listening to us, well, you choose the right environment, I will say. And you will be discovering lots of technologies that will help you decide which path you want to follow and which certification you also want to take. Thank you, Godefroy, for this quick introduction. I'll now ask Philippe to come on stage. Hi, Philippe.
Hi, Karen.
You are the VP of Innovative Development for Devoteam's Group, and you are also at the initiative of this TechRadar. I have a few questions for you. What methodology did you use to build out this tool?
Yeah, the field of technology is huge. So first, we selected 6 domains, which we feel should be at the core of becoming a digital company. First, cloud, not only cloud, but distributed cloud. Then digital business and product, that is how to create user experience by developing software and products. Data-driven intelligence. Business automation, because automation is key now for deploying technology at scale. Sustainability, which is a key topic for all companies. And last but not least, cybersecurity.
And then how did you work with the team? Did you decide on your own which technology?
No. It's a collective intelligence work. So we asked all our 8,000 consultants the technologies they work on customer projects, but also because they are passionate, the technologies they know, they love, and they feel should be part of the TechRadar. So they propose us a lot of technologies, and of course it's not easy because, for instance, if you ask a Microsoft expert what are the best technologies, he gives you the 200 technologies of Microsoft. Same for Google, same for Amazon. So we had to find a balance between big players and also smaller companies who innovate. So they propose a lot of technologies. We selected 300, and then with a board of all of our CTOs, not only me, but we were 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Six or 7. We went down to 134 technologies which are in the radar today.
And that's very precise, no?
Yes.
And what are the key earnings you can share with the audience?
Yeah, first earning is decentralization. You know, in the old days, when you created mainframe or monolithic application, those days are gone. Today, on the cloud, you have to deploy a lot of innovative cloud services. And these cloud services are, for most of them, built on containers, on microservices, on serverless functions, all of them orchestrated by Kubernetes orchestrator layer. So it was the first learning. The second was simplicity. In fact, most of the cloud services and the other technology we selected them due to their simplicity. They cover one topic and they cover it well. They use automation, they use AI, and they have a fantastic user experience. And it's a key point to decide on technology nowadays, because if you have to deploy 20, 30, 40, 60 technologies, you are better if each of them is simple to deploy and to use. The other lesson we find out was the speed. Godfrey mentioned 2 years to mature technology, 5 years to have a standard, and 10 years to be outdated. And in fact, maybe today it's going faster. Why? Because most of the technologies are developed by open source teams, consortiums like Cloud Native Computing Foundation, and then supported by big companies. But the number of people working on the technology has never been so high as today. Developers, marketing, documentation, so the speed increase. And last domain we found is sustainability, and we hope tech will help to solve the technology issues of our society. Not only the big companies who offer, for instance, the cloud player offer carbon calculator, but now there are very innovative companies who measure data, because it starts with data, measure data on sustainability, report it, and then improve it.
And we can actually see the hyperscalers also moving their, let's say, technology to this sustainability topic, right?
Exactly.
And Hans will talk more about that in a few minutes. Second question for you. Third, actually.
Third, last.
Who will use the TechRadar and how they can, what can they do with it, actually?
So the TechRadar is not the Bible of technology, because the technology is moving so fast that it's open for discussion. So the TechRadar is for your experts to open the conversation. Maybe they will have some remarks, some new proposals, and you will see in the document of the TechRadar, you may propose us other technologies. And in fact, our consultants already propose technologies for the TechRadar we will publish before the end of this year.
Okay. Well, yes, we have started working on the new edition, indeed. So if you want to be part of the next edition, there is still time for you to join Devoteam. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you, Karen.
Let's now go through each of the sections of this TechRadar. At Devoteam, we promote cybersecurity not as a gatekeeper, but rather as an enabler for success. The fast-moving ecosystem and rapid competition has led companies to rely more and more on technologies. But with this evolution comes a new risk, cybersecurity risk. Renaud, hello.
Hello, Karen.
You are the Vice President for Cyber Trust at Devoteam Group level. Let me ask you a few questions. The first one I have for you, what trends and initial lessons can be drawn from this TechRadar in terms of cybersecurity?
As you know, Karen, cybersecurity is a magic world. We've got some new trends nearly every day, and sometimes it's due to the actuality, but most of the time due to some new vulnerabilities. So difficult to just focus on one trend, but I can tell you that we get a lesson from this TechRadar. And this lesson, it's to see how the market is moving with the security vendors and the way they are able to adapt the approach of the cloud native in their solution, but also the way that they use the AI engine and also the automation. It's really, really interesting to see all this technology are now embedded in their solution. And it was not the case with the same maturity 2 or 3 years ago, so it's a good lesson learned.
That's interesting. And have you spotted any gold nuggets technology?
Yes, we have some gold nuggets technology in this field. The first one, I think it's really interesting, and it's linked to what I just said. It's not that's the second one. The first one, it's for us Netscope, which is really interesting in the way that they're deploying the solution, especially on the security layer, which touch every security layer on the infrastructure, and especially on the network, and also they bring some SASE. So security edge functionality for our customer. Second one, really interesting, and probably the one that we would like to our customer to adopt. It's Aviatrix. So that Aviatrix, it's really interesting for us because again they are using all the security layers, all the security network. And they are able to bring the security from the first step of the design and the architecture. And it's really interesting the approach they've got on on the way that security again is bring to the project. So really interesting for this one. The last one, it's probably, how can I say that? The most interesting one because it's related to the post-quantum approach, and we know that the quantum computing is probably something which will never happen. So it's really interesting to see how the CryptoNext solution brings this post-quantum approach on this topic.
And what advice or advices will you give to any business on how they approach cybersecurity? So,
you mean the advice that I've got? Yeah. So one advice, and that will probably please our team, because this advice, it's the way that also we are moving with our customer. It's not take the security by design just to be a concept in the way that it's deployed for a customer. That's also really interesting to see that can be a reality, and this reality, it's well aligned with all the other topics that we see in the digital transformation, in the need of speed, in the scalability, and it's really interesting to use this approach with the DevOps platform, with the team. And that will bring some very good results in the way that we can move with this new technology.
So make the security by design a reality.
Exactly.
Cool. Thank you, Renaud.
Thanks a lot.
Let's now jump into the data topic with Laurent Le Tourmy. Here is a fact. 90% of the world's data has been created in the past 2 years, and we have seen a move from big is beautiful to useful is beautiful. Hello, Laurent.
Hello, Karen.
Laurent, you are the head of data at Devoteam France. I have a few questions. Can you share with us the main insight that emerged regarding data technologies?
Sure. In the last 10 years, cloud and real-time capabilities have brought incredible way to handle data at companies. Today, we have names that did not even exist in the last few years, and they're all part of the modern data stack. They bring new ways of working, they automation, they allow capability for huge volume of data, and with data mesh, they allow the creation of data products that will allow you to deploy at scale in companies.
And can you tell us about a few technologies you recommend to seize immediately?
Sure. If you haven't already leveraged it, I would say for sure cloud-native database. And don't be confused about what is cloud-native database. The TechRadar will give you all the answers you need, I think. Then I have in mind 4 different technologies. The first one is dbt, which brings more than pipelines and automation and orchestration to your data lake. The second one is Airbyte, which allows real-time data replication between on-premise databases and the cloud. Then we have Colibra and all the data governance solutions. And finally, Data IQ, which is a very fast-growing AI collaborative platform.
Any tips for organization to make the best out of data?
Sure. 2 things. First, if you want to think about data throughout the enterprise, we recommend to think with 3 different dimensions: foundation, business, and strategy. Whatever the story you had previously to deploy data, you will have to perform through these 3 dimensions. And then, for sure, data mesh. There is a lot of buzz around data mesh. Data mesh is basically the distributed architecture for data. We are convinced that everyone will be working with data mesh in the next few years, at least with domains and products. So we are today in the same situation that we were 20 years ago with digital and web services, and we really think that there is no other way to scale data.
Good to know. Thank you, Laurent.
Thank you.
We are now going to move to the digital business and product part, and I'm pleased to welcome Jean-Philippe Bordary. At Devoteam, we shape innovative digital business, performant product, and remarkable experiences through technologies. Hello, Jean-Philippe.
Hello, Karen.
You are the partner of Devoteam Digital Impulse, and as this is your world, your mission is also to accelerate our clients' business through technology. Can you tell us, when it comes to digital business and product, if there is any trend in the TechRadar that readers should be specifically aware of?
Yes, of course. That's the purpose. And as you know, when we speak about digital business and product, the subject is about designing very performant and beautiful product and services. And these products and services have to be supported by a great user experience, what we used to call a remarkable experience. And to do that, we need mainly 2 things. The first one is to have a very good knowledge and precise and detailed knowledge about user expectations. And the second point is to master all the latest technological innovations in order to be able to re-inject that within the design phases of these products and services. And of course, technology is at the heart of that. And if I'm only thinking about 3 things, I would say data. Laurent spoke about that just before, and it's very important. And more we put in place data-driven design approaches in order to include data. The second point is about mobile experiences, because mobile is everywhere, and there are very nice technologies enabling to create immersive, beautiful journeys and experiences. I'm thinking about Kotlin, Flutter, or APG technologies. And the last, because I'm a designer, so I'm going to speak about that, is the way to design more and more collaboratively, because it's very easy, I would say, to design one product, but to design consistently a full range of products and services within a complete organization, that's the challenge.
Okay, cool. And in the digital business and product section of the TechRadar, were there any technologies that you think can have an immediate and profound impact on a business?
You know, I can be very talkative about that, so I'm going to focus only on two. The first one I will speak about is tech which enable to personalize experiences, which is very important because I love to have product design specifically for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Karen. I'm thinking about technologies like Storybook, and the second point is it has already been mentioned. It's everything which enable to enhance reactivity and responsiveness, because agility is everywhere, and companies, project teams need to design, test, learn. So they need specific tools and tech to do in this way, and I'm specifically thinking about tech like Cypress, which is a framework enabling that.
Okay, and you maybe see me coming with my third question, but
Maybe.
Do you have any advice for companies that want to digitally transform and also implement digital products?
I would say one advice I try to apply to myself, which is that tech is something which is going very, very quickly. So when you think you make the race ahead, in fact, you are like everybody in terms of creativity or in terms of tech. So always think the next move. And this kind of exercise, TechRadar, is very useful for that, in order to have a nowadays picture of what are the trends and the reality. And the second point is to start small and scale it up just after, not only to test and learn, but also to be in the capacity to be sure that what is done for the complete company, not only for one service or one part of the organization.
Thank you. So if you haven't downloaded your TechRadar just yet and you want to check out what are the selected technology from the digital business and product section as well as the others, you will see in a few seconds the QR code. Thank you, Jean-Philippe.
Thank you, Karen.
We'll now take off to the sky and fly through the cloud with Gert-Jan van Allen. As you may know, Devoteam is one of the major players in cloud implementation in the EMEA region. We are the first partner of AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft, Salesforce, and ServiceNow. And we believe that embracing cloud technology is a foundation for any companies that want to be digital. And it's a key and strategic stage that you need to take in consideration. Hello, Gert-Jan.
Hi, Karen.
I'm pronouncing right your name.
Very well. Very well.
You are the CTO of Devoteam Netherlands and also acting as the Distributed Cloud Director for Devoteam. Can you tell us some things about the cloud technology landscape in 2022?
Yeah, of course, we'd be happy to. And normally, if we do that, we talk about cloud as enabling you new business model. You have very rapid innovation. It's very easy to onboard on cloud. You you go ahead and you do it. And that's very much true, and maybe even more true in 2022. But it's also something that has always been there. And I think what's specific for what we see now, what we also describe in the radar, that a lot of technologies help you make it more maybe invisible even, the cloud. It's just infrastructure, it's just there, you just use it. And it's becoming easier with a lot of the technologies that we see emerging now. And that's also, that's very great, because it makes it even easier to enhance your business models, get all the value out of the innovation of the different cloud providers. But there's also always a risk that I want to highlight, because making it invisible also has a risk of it's just working. I don't have to think about it, but becoming really cloud native does, you need to change your process and the skills of your people as well.
Thank you. And are there any technology that we have spotted in the cloud section that you think are must-have for companies?
Yeah, of course, otherwise they won't be in the radar. Right? That, and I think Philippe already mentioned Kubernetes, and Kubernetes is at the core of what's happening at cloud. Almost everything runs on Kubernetes. You see the virtualization options of Kubernetes growing, so Kubernetes itself is developing very fast. But I think even more what I see in the radar is tools that help you make Kubernetes easier to use, to help you to build a control plane on Kubernetes, to help you with security, observability. And I want to highlight two today, Cilium and Pixie. And I highlight these because they are built on eBPF, and that's a technology that I'm very passionate about. It's been a while, around for a while, but how they use that to get very deep integration into the Linux kernel, and in that way have observability and security built into your Kubernetes cluster. That's, I think, really the next level of what we can do with Kubernetes and how we can deploy that. And I think if you look back at the TechRadar and the themes that we found there, that helps you with sustainability, because in the end it will help you lower your carbon footprint, because you run the right infrastructure at the right time with the right load. That will help. Decentralization, of course, Kubernetes is all about decentralization. Speed, because these tools help you speed it up even faster than you already could, because it is simpler. And that's the last one, simplicity. It's becoming simpler. And don't underestimate that simplicity. It looks simple. You still need a couple of people that really know the core to do it effectively.
And how can companies better deal with this distributed cloud concept? And maybe you can tell a few words about what it is actually.
Yeah, I think that's an important one. Thank you, because we talk cloud, and everybody talks about cloud, but we call the focus that we have is on distributed cloud. And I think that term distributed is important, because cloud isn't just cloud anymore. It's not something that's in the sky and I don't care. It's infrastructure and it runs for me. You do care where it is, you do care how decentralized it is, and I think a good explanation of distributed cloud is the term decentralized infrastructure. Your infrastructure is everywhere. It might be on a public cloud, a private cloud, on the edge, sovereign cloud, and you probably use a combination of all of that. And that's important to understand that to be effective, that will probably be your solution, not just one cloud, but decentralized infrastructure through the right load on the right place at the right time. And then for you to do that effectively, I think there's always three axes to think about. Of course, this is a technology domain. I said it's simple, but tools like Cilium and Pixie with eBPF, you are working with the Linux kernel. So yeah, that's a technology topic, and you need good tech guys to know what you're doing. But it's maybe even more a process question. If you want to become really cloud native and be successful in cloud, you have to think about what am I doing, why am I doing it, where am I doing it, and how do I adopt my process to become effective. And last and definitely not least, of course, it's about people. And then, of course, it's training. So you have to get your certifications and all that. Definitely do that and go for all your certifications. It helps you a lot. But it's also about training on the job, making the right decisions with all that power that you have at the right time, and having experienced people to help you with that.
Thank you, Hertjan.
Thank you.
Well, then move to the business automation topic, and I'll welcome Mikkel. Good evening, Mikkel. You are the Global Business Automation Director for Devoteam's Group.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Karen.
Can you tell us a bit more about that concept?
Definitely. Well, first of all, it's one of the 6 areas that we strongly believe that our client organization must master in order to remain in the driver's seat of their digital journey. It's also in a Devoteam context a quite wide area with a lot of different types of technologies that all in some way plays an important part in increasing productivity or accelerating digital transformation. So we're talking about agile and perhaps lightweight technologies here. So when I say agile and lightweight, I mean that these technologies are quite easy to adopt and quite easy to learn how to use, quite easy to scale across the enterprise, and also quite easy to reconfigure or extend later on.
Cool. I think it's very interesting for everyone to know more about that. And if I was to ask you your top 3 technology for any company that want to get started with automation, what would they be?
Well, so there are a few mega trends that drives this space, and I will mention 2 of them. The first one is the organization's need for taking charge of their own digital agenda, so to say. So basically, you can say that the world changes much faster. I'm talking about the markets, the customer preferences, the technology itself. It changes much faster than any human organization can adapt to. So this means that business agility becomes increasingly important. And business agility is very much driven by the basic level of digital, but also by the ability of adopting these types of technologies. The second trend is sometimes referred to as democratization of technology. This means that it's increasingly possible to deploy quite sophisticated platforms and tools to live outside of the IT departments. This means that business people can now begin to innovate and maybe even re-engineer their own work life. And that is sometimes referred to as the 4th industrial revolution. So particularly the emergence and maturation of these technologies, I'm thinking about software robotics, RPA, low-code platforms for process management, tools to deploy AI, ML, etc. All of these technologies and platforms are now at a stage where it makes all of this possible. So that's super interesting. And you can deploy these technologies in a standalone way, and you can take that quite far. But it's my personal opinion that once you start experimenting and combining these technologies in more creative ways, it becomes extremely powerful and potentially transformational. And so that was a long answer, and I haven't answered yet. So if I have to pick 3 from the TechRadar, it would probably be OutSystems as a low-code platform. Can be used for many things. UiPath for software robotics, and ServiceNow for process management. Yeah, but there are a lot to choose from. You can read a lot more about the technologies in the TechRadar. I would say these 3 ones, they cover quite different territory, but they also have some interesting overlaps. And as I said, you can read more about that in the TechRadar.
Thank you, Mikkel. It's not only a matter of technology, right? We'll be talking about people, talent a lot. So what advice would you give to organizations to ensure the success of their transformation?
Yeah, it's very true, Karen. It's not about the technology itself. So I have 3 advices. I would say the first one is that it has to be business driven. So business in the lead, strong support from IT. And my second advice would be that in order to keep traction and momentum, you will have to allow for a little bit of higher risk appetite in certain areas of the organization. And of course, the risk appetite must be balanced with control. So my third advice would be to start implementing the control mechanisms in parallel with deploying these technologies, not before and not after, in parallel, because that's a good way to simply to balance the you can say the speed and the control. So we see a lot of we see many new tech adoption projects that slows down and grind to a halt. Because too much focus has been on all the smart stuff that can be done with the tool, and too little focus on establishing the control mechanisms around it. And that means that it takes the speed out of the initiative and sometimes it slows down. And that's a shame because in most cases you will not have to invent an entirely new operating model or design new governance procedures. A lot of what you need is already there. You just need to double click on it, reconfigure it a little bit, and then deploy it, and then you're good to go. So I think that's what it's all about, climbing the maturity ladder, right?
Thank you for this insight, Mikkel. I'll now welcome Hans Lindemann to talk about a very hot topic, sustainability. We see that organizations are increasingly focusing on ESG and sustainability topic as such, and we believe that digitization is a key element for a sustainable and greener world. Hans Lindemann, hello.
Hello.
Additionally to your role as country manager for Devoteam Norway, you are also leading the sustainability offer at group level. I'd like to ask you a few questions. New technology players entering the game and existing one are developing new activities, but the sustainability section is still a little thin in the TechRadar. Can you explain us why?
Yeah, so I think what we're looking at is that the sustainability in the technology market is really still an emerging topic. So what the TechRadar shows is that we really have a market that's divided into two. We generally have a few smaller tech players that provide very specialized sustainability technology that helps clients manage their sustainability journeys better. And then you have the larger players. We've already talked about them a number of times today. For example, the hyperscalers, which of course provide technology for all kinds of things, but have also started to develop and produce solutions and technology that have a much broader impact area through their platforms. For example, cloud would be one of those. So I think it's an area that's up and coming. It moves quickly, as we heard Philippe talk about earlier. So next year, I think we will see much more technology in the sustainability section.
And what stands out to you with regards to how technology impacts sustainability?
Well, you know, there are a number of things that really stands out. And I must say, throughout this journey that we've had in Devoteam, as we've really embraced sustainability and technology together, has been the large impact that technology really has on the sustainability journey and on helping client organizations managing ESG. Interestingly enough, what we have found in our research is that the more mature an organization is in terms of digitalization, the more it can do with regards to sustainability. So these two things go hand in hand. But if we're looking at it a little bit more concretely, the fact that technology enables you to manage, analyze, visualize very, very large amounts of complex data really drives a lot of the needs that our clients have, particularly in what's called Scope 3, which is the large value chain-oriented sustainability scope that we try to help our clients with. What we also see is that a number of these smaller companies are helping our clients to become more adept at managing smaller parts of their sustainability journey, but becoming very, very good at it. And that means that the technology is also helping the clients become more mature. And of course, that means that we have a much, much better chance of implementing and realizing change and real results from sustainability using technology. So lots to be impressed about, and I'm sure we'll see more of that in the future as well.
Thank you very much, Hans. Devoteam TechRadar is a rich tool filled with more than 100 technology. We said 134 technologies. So you will find lots of information in the publication. So if you haven't downloaded it just yet, you will again see a QR code so you can scan it. What you have seen during this unveiling is just a sneak preview of all the content. As we mentioned, this is an opinionated document, so if you don't agree with all the technologies that are in it, that's fine. If you think some are missing, that's also fine. We'll be happy to hear from you. So come and tell us what you think about it. I'll now welcome Godfrey de Bensman with us on stage for some final thoughts before taking some questions. Hi again.
Hi again, Karen.
Godfrey, can you tell us what is the real impact of Devoteam TechRadar?
There is two impacts. The first one is the impact on the business, and the second one is on the society. And it's very linked because you cannot have an economic future with job creation, value creation, without sustainability for society. If I go on the business side, again, two angles. The first one is really to invent uses, new usage, to invent and choose the right tech for your business model. Among only 134 technology, you really need to pay attention, and it's a big subject, and probably the choice between promising technology but not ready, others ready to be implemented. Then this is the first angle. The second one is each technology is creating its own ecosystem, and the value, the impact of the value of this technology is based on the ecosystem it's able to create. Then these are the two angles we choose, and this is why we think that this TechRadar has really could have an impact on the business regarding the way you are going to use it. The second one,
Society.
Society is a key subject for us. Beyond business and productivity, there is an impact on our daily life, an impact on our future. And at Devoteam, we believe that putting people at the heart of technology is the way to unlock the future. We aim to create a positive impact on the world in the way we do things for business and for people. The new tagline of Devoteam is Creative Tech for Better Change. A better change is a change in security, in privacy, in collaboration, and it's also obviously linked with environmental concerns, issues. Sustainability is already taken by the major players, as you just said, and it will undoubtedly be one of the major trends of the coming months and years. And this TechRadar is made with this idea, by people, for people. And it's up to you to use it, to make the good choices, to use Devoteam and to have the support of Devoteam to make these choices. And we will be pleased for that. And we hope you will find with this tool a very useful way to progress.
Thank you, Godfrey. We are approaching the end of this unveiling, but before letting you go, I'll take a few questions. So let me see. I have one question regarding jobs that I will ask to Laurent. Data is in everyone's mind today, and so many people want to work in data. Would you share with us which jobs are in demand and trending today?
Sure, Karen. Thank you for the question. We are seeing a slightly movement, a change between jobs demand in data, moving from data engineering and tech jobs to more analytical and scientist jobs. I don't, not to say that we are seeing a decrease in demand in data engineering, but more and more when the data lakes are filled by data, people are going to analyze the data and want. So data visualization, scientists and analysts. And I think if I can share an advice for the people, it's for business users or analytical skills, not to be ashamed to go deep into technology, and for tech jobs not to be frightened to go to analytical skills. I think the future, it belongs to people who has these two kind of skills.
And we are recruiting that expert, right?
Absolutely. And training and certifying.
Thank you, Laurent. I'll then ask one question to Gertjan, if you agree.
Sure, happy to.
You mentioned some emerging technologies. Is it safe to use this? Shouldn't we wait a while to see if this really works on a large scale?
Good question, and also bringing it back to the TechRadar, because we put these technologies that I mentioned, Cilium and Pixie, on trial. And I think that goes for everything. Just us mentioning a technology in the TechRadar doesn't mean you have to deploy it to production directly and use it on your whole landscape. But it does mean give it a try, because it will change and you could be the first one to get that change and get the value out of it. So set up an environment to do that safely and try it out, and call me if you can't figure it out. I'm happy to help.
Thank you, Gertjan. Maybe a third one to Hans, since sustainability is a very hot topic. The question is how hyperscalers like Microsoft and Google in particular can impact sustainability in our clients' organizations.
Yeah, so again, as we've heard several times today, you know, the hyperscalers are unique for a number of reasons. Number one, they've been there for a while. They have very large platforms that they can use to capture the data, and the data is really at the heart of managing your sustainability journey. They typically are already in the client environments. They understand the value chains. But I think the most important of all is that they have a lot of momentum. They have the ability to do a lot of research. And this really makes them uniquely placed to help the client impact their sustainability at a very, very broad and large level.
Thank you, Hans. I'll take a final question. And this one will be for Jean-Philippe, if you don't mind. In the context that we have to design a new mobile service, would you recommend using a native or a hybrid technology?
Thank you, Karen. I think I have this question every day. So just to take the things in the quite order, I would say the first thing is really to understand what is needed to be done. And after, to be confident in the fact that we will select and find the good technology. And finding the good way to select the good technology is to understand what this application will have to address as issues and targets, and after also to be representative of what the position of the service has to cover in terms of brand image, of modern brand image also, I would say.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. And I'll take a final question, and this one will be for Renaud. And we're going to talk about cybersecurity. So the question is, Renaud, and I'll ask you to be sharp and quick in answering, so everyone can just go have drinks and dinner for everyone that is watching us. So the question is the strategy and roadmap of cybersecurity vendors well aligned with the way service providers proceed?
Yeah, very interesting question. It's, you know, speaking about, for example, managed services, and the way that, for example, service provider doing some managed services need to provide the service for customer to be able to embed some technology and solution. It's really interesting for us, and that will probably help us to bring some more value in our services to our customer. So, yeah, this point is really key, and using this technology also.
Thank you, Renaud. I know we have received other questions, but we are reaching the end of this unveiling, so we will definitely ask our expert to address them afterwards. I hope you will find clarity and guidance in this TechRadar. We also hope that you enjoyed this event. Make sure that you let us know what you agreed with, what you didn't agree with, and we hope to see you all very soon. Good evening.